Mm-hmm. Oh, you're fine, you're fine. I went over to Returnal for a little bit. I'm 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 broadcasting if anybody cares to watch me die. Oh yeah. Really? It's a lot. But fucking this game really sucks. I had that another main creature. Literally, I can't. They don't even let me go anywhere now. Like I take a few steps, and there's like one of the mega creatures that just literally wipes the floor with you. So again, zero progress because I well I couldn't even like traverse any of the terrain like normal. I I made it to one spot this time and right out the gate, bam, there it is. Big old creature just killed me right out the gate. Okay, increases weapon damage by 100% but inhibits movement. this point, what do I care? I'm not, I'm not getting anywhere anyway. That's what I've been wondering. This looks really bad. And it seems like they just keep getting harder and harder. And it seems like it's getting that way. Yeah, I mean, like now they just threw like 8, 9 of those trash mobs like right at my face. It's like I can't catch a break for shit. Let's see. Trying to figure out where to go because Mm, I'm gonna have to go maybe straight down, which is gonna be a problem. Yeah, I think there's a path on the other side, so time to go. And this room basically does nothing. Good luck with that one. Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Of course he did. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Oh, crapola. Just don't like this game. Wow. Yeah, it's ridiculous how OP they are. I almost fell right there. Nope. Look at that. I can't even run. Look at that. I want to know why all the fucking sudden the mega dick creatures are coming out. They never came out before unless I scanned one of those bodies on the ground. I mean, it's getting fucking pointless now. I mean, 'cause every time I get there, they literally just cock block me. I mean, I never make it past any of it. I mean, oh my god, I've never felt so pointless before. Jesus. Oh look, and I just fell down the hole, you dumb piece of crap. Alright. Yeah, see, and it's like, this is that one door. And the minute I touch that, Yeah, it's like I don't understand where all this shit's coming from. And now there's no way to get out of here. Except for the door I came in. And I need those health things, but I don't know how you're supposed to get them from down there. And I don't know what direction now I need to go. Probably left. Yep, see, nanotech required to do that. Let's see where else I can go. Yeah, see, it looks like I am going the wrong way. Let's see. And I think that's the door yeah, see, mother. Alright, whatever. It's in there, I don't remember. Oh, that. And that. Trying to figure out. Yeah. That's alright. I don't think I've ever had this much trouble with one game to do anything. Well, if I had a little more, you know. If I had a little more knowledge of what was going on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's real good. Hmm. Hmm. Wow, how much is that right now? Ew. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Yeah, well, we can all play now. We just gotta take turns, but we gotta figure out what time to start. And so maybe what we can do is we can all just like, we can get on Dead by Daylight, maybe for, I don't know what, 2 hours, and then leave Dead by Daylight, and one of us can broadcast while the other two play, and then we can, switch off or whatever. Cause, yeah. And we could start doing that tomorrow if you two are up for it. Well, I'm trying to. What the hell is today? Wednesday? Well, technically Thursday because it's after midnight. So, which day is better than for you? Friday, Saturday? Okay. Well, as soon as you get your schedule figured out, just, voice chat me or message me so I know, and I'll make plans to just for us to another party. Damn. Oh, well, happy early birthday. What are you gonna be now? Like 90? Maybe, but you first. Well, I can't fault you for that. I would. I would too. I love candy. Oh, I totally would. That's what bed sheets are for. I'm trying to figure. I keep going the wrong way. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going here, and oh my. I mean, big old buck teeth. Yeah, nope. That's it for me on that game. Wow. I've literally wasted at least 3 hours on it today, and I've accomplished exactly zero. That's like 3 days in a. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm just gonna get some food, sit in front of the TV, maybe watch something, and fuck it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't fully understand what the hell. Yeah, I mean, I know the general direction that I'm supposed to be going, and and the spot. I've got that figured out. The main problem I'm having right now is every time I get closer, they kill me. I mean, they magically throw this big one-shot monster out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty like what the fuck, you know? I've never played something, like I said, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is ultra god tier hard, and this is like playing like 6 or 7 Bloodborns all at once. I mean, it's pretty up there. Can't remember if I got my computer hooked to the monitor here or over there. Gonna see if there's any new movies for me. And really, I do not feel like switching the cable. I was hoping it was hooked up at the desk, but guess not. Oh my god. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing, the Returnal just a little bit, like, each day, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, no actual, progress, none at all, zero. Yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, they haven't upgraded it yet. I wish they would. But it already looks wow. Wow. Who named yeah. It's alright. I'm just was looking at movies. Who the hell names a movie American Sausage Standoff? Yeah. Well, there's another movie too called what is it? Sausage Party? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? They got Dune on here upgraded to 2160p. I know what I could download and watch right now. I might just do that actually. I gotta go back and check my DC Legends of Tomorrow, but I think I was at episode 10 and there was two or three at the time that I was behind on already. Let's see. But I never took the keyboard apart yet to fix it where the cat fucked it up, so that's gonna be a whole nother problem. Yep, because it has all kinds of pop in it. Thanks to him. Yeah, see, I'm 3 episodes behind because they're on episode 13. So let's start with episode 11. I can't remember if that's actually on CW or not. I'm gonna go check. So see if they have those 3 episodes. Probably not. Oh yeah, I forgot. Stargirl's on too. Not real. Go lay down. I'm busy. Oh, perfecto. All three of my episodes of DC Legends of Tomorrow are on my CW, so I'm not even gonna download them right now. I just see where's it at. I wish they had Fox. Well, I mean we have Fox, but the way TV works now here is we used to have the old school like analog signal, antenna. Otherwise you had cable TV. Well, nowadays everything is digital, so having an antenna picks up pretty much nothing, if anything at all. And if you want a station like Fox or CW or something like that, you got to get some paid package. Uh, Ye- Yep, that's exactly how mine is too. If if one goes, everything goes. But so that's one of the things I like about the TV I bought and my other TV before it. You know, it's the with the smart TV, like it has Roku made in it, and if you buy the right TV with the smart TV and all that stuff made in it, some channels are offered for free. So like I get the CW for free, which is probably my only favorite channel that I watch. But yeah, but I wish they had like Fox, like but you can't get anything like that without paying for it. And you can't just get that individual channel. And if you could, it would be like $15 just for that one channel per month. It's like, really? Why would I pay $15 or something a month for one channel when I can get Hulu for like $7 a month and have all that stuff? Oh, that sucks. What about Netflix? You get that? Why the hell do they not let you have Hulu? I don't get it. I'm starting to think that Canada has a lot more rules and regulations that I'm glad I live here. uh, but see, and that's weird because, it's like it's just a service and it's done through the internet. You could go anywhere. You could be on a damn plane and watch it on your cell phone. So I don't I'm confused. I don't know how they do that. Move dog. Got to get my food ready and watch at least one episode of yeah, 3 episodes behind. You never started watching Legends of Tomorrow, did you, woman? Oh my. You've been watching that Wyatt Earp, haven't you? Or Winona Earp? Well, I pretty much haven't really been watching that much. The Walking Dead because it just came back on. So there's only 2 episodes. And then Legends of Tomorrow and Stargirl. That's it. Hmm. Mm. Yep, because all I have is internet, no cable TV, and I pay almost 200 a month. Yeah, it's ridiculous because I used to get the same kind of internet for like 45, $50 a month. Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I know. I went to Straight Talk because at one point, um, I had Verizon, which was the cheapest, and I started getting 300 and $500 bills a month, and I'm like, nope, see ya. And so I started using Straight Talk, and no contract, $50 a month, unlimited. Hmm. No, that's why I stick to my Straight Talk, because you can still get it here if you wanted to for 35, 45, and 50. Hmm. Just like the oil and gasoline industry. Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the markets are different all over the place, but damn. Nope. Oh, I know, like yeah. Well, that's why I said I won't rent. I used to rent and I just couldn't afford it. I mean, and then, we had the other house that was left to us from her mom, and then we bought this house, and it was because of COVID, it was 120 grand, but it was marked down, and we got it for 65. I'm 100% glad. It's a 3-bedroom house, 2-car garage, and we don't have a landlord. That's the best part. Man, I know. Well, I remember when I used to buy all this stuff for cheap, and well, even with the prices here, it's still high. Hmm. Everything around here has went up. Food, gas, cigarettes, alcohol, you name it. Candy, everything is high. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I was just about to bring that up, of course. Yep. Oh, I know. I know how that was because the small towns, big cities here, everything was sold out from one end to the other. And it wasn't just toilet paper, it was, everything. I mean, we went into the big grocery store here, a really big store. You go in there, the shelves were just bare. You couldn't buy toilet paper for like 4 or 5 months here. That's exactly what they were doing here with cereal, toilet paper, pop, you name it. One per customer. Yeah, we had to drive around to like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 different stores, and we couldn't really get anything. And then one store started getting it back, and they only had 4 packs of toilet paper, and it was one per customer. And so what we would do is we'd split up, and she'd go through one line, I'd go through another, so we could get 2 packs. And then we just leave and come back like 30, 45 minutes later and buy another one. Wow. See, here they won't do that. I would have, see, here, if that happened, I would have went straight to a store manager and I would have been like, yeah, we came together, but we live in separate households, you know? Ouch, that really hurt. Oh yeah, no, I know. Because for a while here, uh, they were selling 29-cent pack of ramen noodles. You could only one pack per customer. One single package. Who the hell buys one pack of ramen noodles? Nobody. Hmm. Oh yeah. Well, see now, here's when I got pissed off. When I went in and they told me I could only have 1 2 liter of pop. Because see, I don't drink milk, I don't drink alcohol or anything like that, and I drink pop. That's it. Well, the grocery store is literally 45 minutes away. Yeah, so I fucking snap. Yeah, that's 90-minute drive depending on weather and traffic. Oh yeah, no, I literally lost my shit and I looked at her and I was like you better go on to the car. And oh yeah, we went round and round, had some fucking words, and they gave me what I wanted to, and they did it with a smile. Yeah, one bottle of pop. Oh, I tried to order stuff online before we ever went to the store. Couldn't get shit. Yeah, yeah, they were sold out of toilet paper and Kool-Aid and everything. I'm like, wow. I think I'd be, yeah. Well, back when I got this TV, oh, a big horrendous problem because my other TV went out and I know how to fix it, but I looked into it and the parts were even at my cost weren't worth it. So I opted to buy a new TV and I couldn't get a TV anywhere. And I finally wound up having to order one online and get one over at Best Buy. and you couldn't go in the store. They actually, like rolled it out. You could step just inside the front door because they had like outside doors and inside doors. Well, you were only allowed to step in between those two sets of doors. And so I get my TV. Now keep in mind, this place is 90 minutes from my house. 90 minutes. TV number one broke. TV number two broke. And guess what? TV number three broke. So so I made all those trips 90 minutes in each direction and I finally got this TV that actually works. And this is yeah, and this is Best Buy, a big ass, corporate store. No, this one's a TLC. The TV, yeah, yeah. Oh, now see, my LG was the greatest TV I ever had, and it's unfortunate, but the TV itself didn't didn't go bad. The TV, the what happened to it was in the old house before we bought this one, the air conditioning stopped working, and because we were going to move, we didn't do anything about the central air, and we opened windows, opened the back doors to get air in because it's like 100 degrees in the house. Well, all these flies kept coming in from outside, and they were getting inside the TV because of the heat inside the TV, and it caused the TV to short out. Nice. Yeah, see, I need a second TV because I actually don't have one right now. Because I need one for my actual living room because I took my entire living room and moved it into this room. I know this lady that works down at the gas station and she's got three TVs that she wants to sell me for like 150 bucks for all three, which is pretty cheap, but all of them are 1080p. And but one of them is like a 40, I don't know, a 40 or a 45 inch, and then the other two, are just smaller, like computer monitor size. And that's exactly what I was going to buy them for was, you know, extra computer monitors. So I don't know. I'm still debating on if I want to, like buy them or not because they're 1080p. But I figured it's not like there's a 4K video card for a computer. The monitor I have hanging on the wall right now is a 1080p. So I thought about buying that 45 inch or whatever from her and replacing the monitor on the wall with that. Because I'm pretty sure if I tell her, well, I only want to buy the one, I'm pretty sure she'll probably sell it to me for like 50 bucks. And yeah, and that's a steal because you're not going to buy any monitor that's 40, 45 inch, for 50 bucks. You're just not. I mean, you're looking at a couple $300 minimum. And and I don't need 4K, like I said, I don't need a 4K screen for my PC. Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nobody really does that whole computer monitor thing anymore. Most people buy a smart TV. Some people buy computer towers that don't have a CD, DVD drive in them. And the reason they do that is because they get a smart TV with a DVD or a Blu-ray drive already made into the TV. I know that's one of the big things I'm working on this fall is I'm gonna build a custom wall, and my TV is gonna be inside the wall, and I'll be able to sit down in the chair, hit a button on the remote, and then this invisible wall is, invisible TV, the walls are gonna open and the TV will be right there. And yep, exactly, yep. And then I've got these actuators, and I'm gonna be custom making. My speakers are gonna either come down out of the ceiling or up out of the floor. I haven't decided yet. Me too. Oh yeah. No, I That's a good story because I've had the same stereo system since, I don't know, the 1980s, 86, I think, 87. And here we are 25, 30 years later. I just now brought my record player back to life because the needle was broke in it and I could never find a replacement. And I finally wound up buying this Universal, and I had to retro engineer it and fit it in. But oh yeah, it works. Yeah, I was about to say, vinyl's making a comeback, and you can go into Walmart now in the store, and they have a whole aisle, and I'm like, what? Uh, yeah, I'm hoping that cassettes make a comeback, because I like cassettes better than I like CDs. Because I can put my Walkman in my pocket, be out running or riding a bike, hit bumps, my cassette tape will never skip. I don't care what CD player you have, every fucking CD is gonna skip. Yep. Jesus, woman, because you know what? Like certain albums here, I've seen them 8 to 20 bucks, which I think is, reasonable. Because Oh yeah, well, and I'm talking Walmart. Like I've walked right into Walmart, 45 minutes from my house, of course, but I've walked right into Walmart, and they had Metallica Ride the Lightning, 7.99. I'm like, what? Cha-ching, sold. And they had the Cars and the Who and all kinds of other stuff. And I'm like, nice, nice. Oh, me too. Jesus, I wish I could get that. I'd like that. Right. God. Not that bad. Well, all the people who, like are passed away or passing away, the prices are skyrocketing, especially on vinyls. Like Tom Petty. Oh man, Tom Petty, Prince, Eddie Van Halen, uh, yeah, well, Michael Jackson, all this shit. I mean, dude, it's expensive as shit now. I just seen a Michael Jackson Thriller record the other day, $300. Yeah, just yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Part with it? Yeah, yeah. Right now, I only have a few records. I think I have four right now. I went into this one place. They were supposed to charge me $8 and actually wound up charging me $4. And I got a three record set that has like a lot of greatest hits from the 80s on it. Three different records. And then I've got like a Johnny Cash record, which I have no fucking clue where that came from. Oh man, I did have a John Cougar Mellencamp, but I guess it was cracked, which is unfortunate because that's the one I wanted to keep. Hmm. Uh, and well, one particular artist from your neck of the woods, this artist's albums went up for a while, and that was Avril Lavigne. A lot of her albums skyrocketed in price for a while because yes, because everybody thought she was dead and that she had like a clone double person, taking her place. I'm sure you heard about that. And all of her albums and stuff were like skyrocketed. I don't know what she's doing now, but God, Justin Bieber, I want to squash him like a roach. I hate that kid. Wasn't he with Selena Gomez or something? Like, mm, you know what I thought was funny? I thought was funny when Ozzy Osbourne was on TV. He was on one of the talk shows and he was making fun of Justin Bieber. It was awesome. Hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, I can't remember this kid's name, but there was this kid, and at the time, he was a kid. Like he was 12, maybe 13 at best. This kid literally had the voice of an angel, and he sang these two songs. One was a cover, and the second one was an original that he wrote. And the kid basically turned out years later to be like Justin Bieber, and I'm like, why? Fucking why? No, this kid was on AGT, and I'm trying to remember his name. He was on AGT way back, and fuck, I don't even know, 2016, maybe 2017. It was a long time ago. Yeah, I'd have to, but ah, of course. Mm, wow. Well, well, isn't Hugh Jackman from over there too? And so is oh my God, Howie Mandel. More like Bobby's World, but yeah. I oh yeah. Yeah, I know him all the way back from his early days of Bobby's World, and then a TV series called, I think it was Saint Elsewhere, and he was a doctor in a hospital back when he had curly, long, dark colored hair. Uh, he actually, in a way, looked like Jeff Goldblum back then. Now he just looks. Now he just looks like I don't know. And now Howie Mandel just looks like a turtle, a wax turtle. Yeah. Well, I guess there's one thing we can be sure of. He doesn't give himself hand jobs. No, we're all kids and we just sometimes pretend to be adults. Yeah, for a couple hours a day. You sound like you need to go to bed, woman. Yes. Shit, I'm still gonna watch DC Legends of Tomorrow. Well, only one episode though. I got 3 episodes to watch, and I'm gonna watch one episode a night for the next 3 nights. Fraggle Rock? Yep. um, what if? One, yeah, I watched about the first 3 or 4 episodes. It, it isn't is it, exactly. I was about to say the same thing. You've got to get past that first episode because what threw me off is when I first started watching it, it was in black and white, and I basically forced myself to watch it, and then I'm like, "Oh, it's in color now. It's part of the story." Wow. As long as I don't ever have to watch the 2021 Suicide Squad again. Ugh. Yeah. 20 2016. Well, I can vouch for the first one. The 2016 Suicide Squad is fucking awesome. But the 2021 is, well, if I ran out of toilet paper, that'd be the first thing I retch for. 'Cause, holy God. On the other hand, though, I am excited for the new Spider-Man in December. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not like other guys. I'm kinda happy that after the first early Spider-Mans, they stopped using Mary Jane as a sex symbol. I mean, look at the scene in the first Spider-Man when he's hanging upside down in the alley and they just purposely have the rain, falling down on her tits, and they have her purposely jumping up and down with the camera going down, and I'm just like, I mean, I get it. Some people might want to see that, but if I want to see that, I've got it 2 rooms away. I don't want it on my TV, and I don't need it in my game. Exactly. You mean like Aquaman? I can't remember his name, but they did that with him in Justice League, and I'm like, really? Come on, dude. I don't know. I've met a lot of different people in my time over the years. I've seen movies actually get filmed in my neighborhood, and I met people that I thought were cool when I was a kid, and once I grew up, I fucking hate them. Like I'll tell you, my most number one hated person right now, Steven Seagal. When I was a kid, I thought he was cool as shit, and I met the guy twice. The first time I met him when I was a kid, and he was filming the movie Above the Law in my neighborhood, and he seemed like a cool guy. I met the same person like 25 years later, and he's a fucking douchebag. Oh yeah, he is a fucking dick. Mm-hmm. With Kate Beckinsale? The mhm. I'll tell you the nicest person in the world, Keanu Reeves. That he's the nicest person ever. And another surprising person, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Really nice guy. Danny DeVito was pretty cool, at least years ago. I met Danny DeVito back in, what was it, 1988, 1989, and he was like coolest guy ever. It's like wow. He was funny because I was working in this place where I set up sound and for like bands and stuff. And then when I was done with that, I would help like the waitresses with the dishes and set food up at tables. And I was out there setting up the mics and the PA system and all that. And Danny DeVito was talking to me, and stuff, and because they were doing like some type of comedy show that night, and he was there for it. And I was sitting at a table drinking coffee, and he came and sat down, and I'm like, holy shit, this dude's sitting at my table, and and he just started talking to me, and then he's like, well, how much are you making here, and I was like, I don't know, minimum wage. So I help him with his stuff, and I go and I come back, and he left an envelope for me, left me 200 fucking, he left me $200, two $100 bills, and he signed one of them. And he wrote on he wrote on it, and he's like thanks for the coffee, and then he signed his name down there, and I still have it all these years later. Now There's some nice people out there, and then there's some really crappy people. Uh, I don't know. There's a few other people I'd like to meet someday, but probably won't get that lucky. I would definitely, I'd definitely like to meet Tom Cruise. I'll tell you what's a rarity. One person that I did meet, and that was George Lucas. That guy, he is, man, is he a nice guy? But and he, oh wow, God, that guy, he's a strong guy. When he shakes your hand, it feels like he's gonna crush you. I, yeah, I was at a toy convention, and he was there. I used to go to a lot of those toy conventions, and they'd have like a Star Wars section, a Transformers section, GI Joe, and Turtles, and all kinds of shit. I never got to talk to her, but the girl who played April O'Neil in the first Turtles movie, she was there. I never got to talk to her though because the line to even get up there was like a mile long. I never got to meet Stan Lee like I wanted to, and I'd like to meet Stephen King. Uh, don't ever let Arnold Schwarzenegger hug you though, 'cause you'll need a chiropractor. Yeah, that man. Yeah, that dude is fuck. Oh yeah, he's a yeah, he's a really nice guy, and everybody always, tries to mess with him and get him to say like "I'll be back" or "Get to the chopper." And and let me just tell you, it's worth $1 million when you're standing there and he says it. It's 100% priceless. hmm I can't begin to tell you the amount of times that I've watched Total Recall and The Sixth Day. I've watched The Sixth Day so many times I could almost recite every word. Jesus, my mom likes that. I haven't seen that since, I don't know, late 90s. I probably do. I have, I think I have that. I have The Craft. I have I have The Witches of Eastwick. Uh, yep. Yeah, I have that one. and I have Witchboard. I actually have the Warlock too. I have that. Yeah. There's a movie going across my screen right now. Here's a movie for you. Vin Diesel, The Last Witch Hunter. Yeah, it's going across my screen right now. That was a strange movie. Let me tell you, it's so strange that I watched it twice and still don't understand it. hmm I have not seen that in a long time. hmm I used I used to like Urban Legend. That was all right. And God dang it, I can't think of that other movie like quadrilogy. I think there's five. Oh, Final Destination. That's what it is. Yep. I think there's what, five? Yeah. There's a couple of them though. There's a couple of deaths I could do without. No. Um. I. The one where the guy gets his face impaled by the fire escape ladder. Ugh, that was just fucking terrible. He makes it completely out of the building and then slips and falls backwards on the food that he threw out the window. That's terrible. You know, another movie, two other movies that I still won't watch even today. I caught most of them, most of the two movies when I was a kid, and I still won't watch them. The original Amityville Horror and God dang it, what was the other one? Yeah, The Exorcist. Yeah, Hell and No. Oh. hmm I remember. I remember when my dad used to make me take the trash out at like 2 in the morning, and I lived in the big city of Chicago, a very dangerous city, and I used to be scared to take the trash out because of Michael Myers. Wow. Mm. Michael Myers and yeah, Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Nope. You come chasing after me with a hockey mask, I'm out. I went I I went to a haunted house that's out in the country, and it gets better. This is an old insane asylum building, and it actually, in parts of it, it's supposed to be haunted. So me and this other guy I know that now has sadly passed away, me and him went there, and we get there, and there's not very many people at all. Like there's more people leaving than going in, because I mean it's like $50 to get in, and it's super scary. So we get in there, and we're not even like two or three rooms down, and we see wheelchairs and stuff moving on their own, and then somebody who was dressed up as Michael, I guess. Well, they had like a fake wall, and it looks like a real wall, and you're walking down this really dark hallway with all these like light fixtures above you, fluorescent lights that are just flickering real dim. And then Michael jumps out, and I'm like, nope, where's the exit? Michael bu yeah, Michael busted out of the wall. But then we were talking to one of the guys we know that works there, and we've been friends with him for years, and he was telling us that yeah, the wheelchairs, that's not part of it. And we never went back. Yeah, it's called you can actually look it up. I think they might actually show it on YouTube, and it's actually made it to some famous TV shows, but I think it's called the Ashmore Estate, and I think that's what it's called, and it's in Ashmore, Illinois. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to use my TV's YouTube, but I'm gonna try to look it up on here with my one letter at a time remote. But yeah, but my friend was so scared that he actually pissed himself. And oh yeah, no, it was so bad that I mean, me and him, we're not really scared of nothing, and we're like, yep, we're done. Where's the exit? But yeah, there's my friend had all. Go ahead. Yeah, I knew it was on some famous. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and keep in mind, I lived 6 miles from this place. Yeah, Yeah, well, I assure you that that's the only building like that I've ever been in. And like I said, me and him, we only made it 2 rooms in and we were done. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more stuff out there that people think is just not real, but it is. I mean, I've seen things when I was younger that even now, 40 years later, I still can't explain. So, which is why I cut, people some slack when they're talking about, some UFO type shit. I'm not gonna rule anything out based on the few things that I've seen. 'Cause I had an experience, and not a good experience when I was a kid, a little kid. We lived in this house, well, it was an apartment building, and we had an old fireplace, and I had to sleep in the bedroom because on the couch because we only had a one bedroom house or apartment, and my sister, well, she wasn't born yet, so it was just me. And I used to hear like these like rattling sounds, almost, like like a bunch of change rattling around in a pocket. And I would hear like thumping sounds, and I was always super, super fucking scared. And of course, my dad wouldn't let me sleep in the bedroom with him. And well, then I found out later that this wasn't like change, like I thought it was money. Um, it was actually chains dangling around vertically in the fireplace area. And the fireplace was unusable. Well, one night, in the middle of the night, I woke up and the fireplace actually lit up. And we never lit the fireplace. It was supposed to be sealed off on the roof of the apartment building. And, and I was a dumb kid, a really dumb kid. And so I remember, like creeping, I'm on my hands and knees and I'm creeping and I'm getting closer, and I'm trying to figure out, this fire, I wasn't aware that the fire never worked. I didn't know that stuff. I was a kid. And then I remember getting close and nothing. And then the fire went out. It went back to a completely dark room. And I'm still on my hands and knees. And I turn around, on the floor, turn around, and I start crawling back to crawl back towards the couch. And it's like something grabbed my ankle and started pulling me towards the fire escape. I've never I've never been so scared in my life, and I will never, no, I can't do that kind of stuff. That's why even some movies will still scare me now. Mm. Oh yeah. Traumatized? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, I completely understand. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. So, oh yeah, based on that, oh yeah. Things things have scared the crap out of me like oh yeah, like I don't like I can't sleep with the lights off. Nope, can't do it. Yeah, I have to sleep with the TV. I mean, I can't do it without the TV. And then, and I don't really like if I'm laying down, I don't like, like the door closed. No, 'cause I've had weird scary shit with doors before that like slammed in front of me and then I couldn't get them open and I was literally like freaking the fuck out. I mean, I lived in this one place that scared me so bad that I only spent 3 nights there and never went back. And I paid the rent for a whole year. There was a school that I think it was called Lincoln School, but this school was no longer a school. Some people that were friends of the family, um, and my dad had passed away, and my mom had moved back to Chicago. This guy knew me and knew I was looking for a place, to live, and he had turned this school, the lower floor of the school, into individual apartments. And I don't know if you've ever been in a school before when it's quiet, but there's this different sound about it. And every little sound you make, footstep or anything else, like echoes throughout the hallways. And that's how this place was. And I had this one bedroom apartment. It was 2 rooms. You walked in, it was like the kitchen and the bathroom, and then the other room, which was either, your bedroom or your living room or both in one. And weird things were going on there. And yeah, I never went back. The air conditioner would make funny sounds and turn on and off by itself. You could you could hear the water in the bathroom sink, which the bathroom used to be a janitor's closet. You could hear the water in the sink like turning on and off. And and yeah, it was. And I had this hallway, like, if you opened my apartment door, you know how the school stairs were made out of, like, I don't know what they were, but let's say marble. They're kind of, well, I had 3 or 4 steps and then a long banister, and well, I had the big long wide sets of stairs, and then so you went down, you had like a landing, then another set of stairs, and then all the front doors of the school, the glass see-through doors. And one day, in the evening, about 6 o'clock, I remember it clearly. I was leaving to try to go to work, and I couldn't get my apartment door open, and I was so fucking scared. And I literally had both my hands on the door handle, and I had both my feet up on the wall, and I could not get my door open. And and finally the door just flung open, and I flew like backwards onto the fucking floor. And then out in the hallway, it was all of a sudden it was like really, really cold, and I could like see my breath. And I like hopped up and I grabbed my keys off the floor and I ran out the door and I slid down the first banister. And as I slid down the first banister, because I didn't even like run down the stairs, I just slid down the banister. There's the landing. Well, below that landing is another flight of stairs that leads to the door, and it was daylight outside, full on daylight. All the glass in all the doors was black. And when I looked back at my apartment, the door slammed because I left it wide open. It's like it didn't want me there. And and then I seen like just little bits of light. It almost looked like, like the night sky where you see stars up there and they're white dots. And and the blackness just started like slowly dissipating, like to the left and the right and up and down of the doors. And I literally went, once I made it outside, I never, ever, ever went back. And I paid like, what was it, like $8,000 for the whole year's rent and only stayed there those 3 days. Well, I paid it in advance because you know how people, how guys are. We like to waste money. And I wanted to secure, my place. But yeah, I never went back. And the other guy that was a friend of the family, he was nice enough and pretty much gave me the majority of my money back. But I tried to explain a little bit to him about why, like what had happened. But I didn't tell him the whole thing because I didn't want him to think I was a fucking nut. But I, but but yeah, no, I was super, super fucking scared. Like, yeah, like I said, there's been a couple incidences, and people tell stories, and even when they tell stories, it scares me because I know that they're probably telling the truth. I mean, good. Other things, and other things, will scare you and bother you, but in a different way. Like, for example, my dad was, yeah, he was a real piece of crap. Like, physically and verbally abusive, pretty much until the day he died. And so, like, I've had, like a multitude of dreams, that, or, dreams or nightmares, however you would want to classify it. And he's been in them. And, you know, and, and, and it wasn't the fact that he was being, mean to me, or anything in the dreams, because he wasn't. But it's so fucking real that, when you do wake up and you jump up, Yeah. And but let me tell you why those dreams that aren't scary, let me tell you why they scare me. Not because he was abusive or not because he was mean to me in the dream, but every now and again, and I kid you not, it still happens now. Maybe it's my imagination. I don't know, but I doubt it. But I literally, there's been times where I've been like working on something, or I'll be sitting here like with my headphones on, no matter where I'm at in the world, and I will literally hear him like scream my name like he wants me to come here. And yeah, yeah, and it's scary because honestly, as much as I hated him, he was still my dad, and I'm the only one out of all the family I know for a fact that's ever went to visit his grave. I'm the only one. My sister hates him, you know. My mom is, yeah, just a whole nother story. I'm literally the only one that ever went there. And, with all the other things that have happened, like I'm even scared to go there. Like I won't even go there now. But yeah, but it's scary. I mean, I'll be sitting here, like listening to some of my, like Metallica or some other kind of music on YouTube on my headphones, and then I'll just hear it, and it's clear as day. Yeah, it's yeah, ooh, I think mine was I think mine was 1995 or 1996. And I don't know. For me, the whole thing is just weird and scary because there was like nothing until, I don't know. I'd say, I'd say about 2009, 2010 is when this other shit started. Yeah, and I'm one of those people, like that shit scares me really bad. So I'm like really, really, really afraid to be, like home by myself. And she has to go to work. She has to go to work at like 4:35 in the morning, and she doesn't come back until like 3 o'clock in the evening. And so half the time, yeah, I'm actually scared out of my fucking mind. And like you said, I have a basement here. Well, basements scare me. I've only been in this basement once or twice in the whole year that me and her been living here. Like I won't go down there. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like no, no, it does have a concrete floor, but it has like brick walls, like a solid smooth concrete floor, and then it has one of those like circle well hole things in the middle of the floor. Mhm. Yeah, I remember in the apartment building in Chicago that I grew up in, we had I mean it was a big scary building anyway when you're a kid because it was a very large and quiet building, and we had a boiler room because back then they had an actual boiler for heat for the whole building. And well, at the beginning there was no washer and dryer in there. Well, tenants complained, and over time the owner put a coin operated washer and dryer in there. And then at that time, we'd already been through three landlords. We were on our third landlord because, they kept selling the building. And when Mike Macy bought the building, at that time I was probably 15, 16, and and he hired me as a kid. I used to sweep and mop, and he'd drive me to all of his buildings, and I used to work on the weekends and stuff. And but that room, the boiler room there in my own building, used to scare me all the fucking time because I had to go in there, to get the mop bucket and this and that, and I'd be, scrubbing this or doing that, and then the boiler would kick on, and it just scared the shit out of me. Well, well, that whole building, I was glad that we moved because the year of my graduation from high school, this building was one of those big city buildings. So it had like, I don't know how many, 20 stories or something. And then on the top of it, it had a penthouse. Well, there was some 20 in their 20s year old people, 20, 23, shit like that, and they all lived together, were roommates. Well, the one guy that was the guitarist for the band, it had the banisters, that just wrapped around all the way from the ground floor to the top, and no elevators or nothing like that. And this guy literally hung himself. Well, I lived in apartment 101, and I had a bus that would pick me up and drive me to school. And I came out, and the dude was just literally hanging right there in the middle of the banister. And I ran back in my house screaming, and they called the police and all that. And yeah, that was, I don't know, that was a sight that I'll never forget. And I'm just, I used to sit right there on the top of the stairs for, I don't know, 13 years. I sat there waiting, for a school bus to pick me up, take me to school, and waiting for my parents to get home because my dad wouldn't allow me to have a key to go in the apartment. And that same spot that I sat there all them years is where he was hanging from. So yeah, I was so glad that we moved. Yeah, yep, yep. Because I lived on the first floor, and you went down the 2 flights of stairs, and you were on the ground floor, and then there was 2 doors. There was the inner security door, a little hallway that had the mailboxes in it, and then the outer security door. And the building was heated. So in the winter, yeah, I always sat up there and played with my Walkman or my Game Boy, and when I heard the bus honk, I ran down the stairs and went out. But yeah, because I think we moved 2 days after my graduation from high school. Because I remember Mike asking me, if I was coming to work that day, and I'm like, nope, no sir, I am done. I used to be scared when I worked at a movie theater too that was called Showplace 8, and and they had like 16 theaters in one building, and we had like it was like a leaf blower, and these theaters are very, very large, and when nobody else is in it but you, it's like a deafening silence. And I used to have to turn this blower on and walk around and blow all the popcorn and stuff out of the seats and under the seats, and we blew everything from the back of the theater all the way out in front to the screen, and then sweep everything and bag it. And it was just like, oh, it was just so, I don't know, it was so scary working there, creepy. Yeah, and the place, even without, well, the place was like deafening silence, like, and it was just scary. It was so silent. And then it was worse after you ran the blower for like 20, 30 minutes, because then your like ears were ringing and you still couldn't hear anything. Nope, nothing. And I had to clean, like, I think there was 4 guys, and we never really seen each other except for maybe, lunch or something. But each of us had like 3 or 4 theaters to clean, and yeah, so we were all on different, different sides of the building, and but I actually quit that job. I worked there. I worked there for a while, but then one day I got scared and I never went back because I was in there and I had just got done cleaning everything, and I was going around and wiping off all the seats, and they had the foldable seats, so I had to fold the part that you put your ass on. I had to fold them all up, make sure no popcorn, no nothing, no gum, nothing like that. And I had just gotten done with all that, and I was standing out in front of the screen, and the projector came on. And this wasn't a time for movies or anything like that, because they only played movies from 2 p.m. into the evening, and then they closed off to the public for like 2 hours, and then they started the night shows. So at the time that that thing came on, there was nobody there to operate it. And I don't know why, because I worked there for a while, and the silence scared me, but nothing had ever happened. But when that movie thing came on, and I was all blinded, and I had my hand up in front of my face because you can't see, and but I don't. Yeah, no, I don't know why, but I got scared and I never went back. And then 2 weeks later, I went in and picked up my last paycheck, and that was it. Like I never went back. Like I never even went back there. I never even went back there to watch a movie. I mean, nothing really happened. Like I said, it was just, you know, projector came on, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I was always just a scaredy cat. So, like, when I would go to work and get jobs, I would purposely go out of my way. I didn't care how hard the job was, as long as I had people around me. You know, I would work in a factory because it wasn't scary. I would work in a grocery store, but, well, let me tell you another story. This is a game related story. So, I am such a chicken shit because of all those things that I've seen that I haven't even played Resident Evil 7 because I have Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil has always been one of my favorite games. I have Resident Evil 7 VR. Now let me just tell you that VR takes scary horror games to a whole nother level of holy fuck. And I gotta tell you right now, I don't care what anybody in the entire world says. Resident Evil 7 VR is hands down the scariest fucking game on the planet. And I played, I would say on and off, I might have had played 20, maybe maybe 45 minutes of the game, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I was so scared that like my hands and shit were shaking, and I couldn't do it. I mean, it was too fucking scary. Now, playing the same exact game on a regular TV screen, oh, I could do that no problem. But like I almost pissed myself the day that the crazy old guy with the shovel, I was like hiding from him, and I didn't know what the game could do yet, and so I'm hiding, and I knew, okay, I gotta hide, like Dead by Daylight, this guy's gonna get me if I don't hide. So I'm hiding, and I'm running around walls, and I'm hiding, and I'm like, all right, I lost him. He's gonna go away. He busts out of the, breaks the wall down, busts through the wall with his shovel. I'm like, nope, headset off. I'm fucking done. Oh, let me. Well, oh, and my story gets even better. So, I wind up putting the headset back on, after about 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play a few minutes, and I'm gonna take the headset off, and try to relax a little bit. Then I'll put the headset back on, play a few more minutes. So I put this headset back on, and I'm like hitting the continue, restart because I died, and I'm playing, and two things occur, but not both at the same time. So I'm getting back into the game, and the whole atmosphere is just, it's fucking scary. And so I'm sitting there, I'm playing, I'm hiding from this guy, and I'm running through this building, and now keep in mind, I've got my headset on, I got my VR headset on, and my headphones. So the outside world does not exist to me. The fucking cat jumps off the back of the chair onto my shoulder. Scares the holy fucking shit out of me. So, so then, so then I got so scared that I didn't play the game for like 3 months. Then a couple of friends of mine, you know, they were like, "Okay, you pussy, we're gonna come and we're gonna keep you company." So I'm like, "Okay, you know, thanks." So, so my two friends, they get in the voice chat with me, and I'm broadcasting the game, and everybody's nice and quiet, and everybody's being cool because they know how scared I am, and why. And and so we're playing, my one friend's talking, not real loud, just talking low, and all of a sudden, there's this real scary part coming up that they know about and I don't. And my friend starts screaming and making all these fucking noises and just scared the shit out of me. So, guess what? The game has been sitting on my PlayStation now since pretty much about a week after release, and I've never touched it again. And it, no. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I can play the same exact game with no VR. No problem. No problem at all. But I don't. Well, I've always had a great appreciation for both VR and Resident Evil, separately. And but like I said, VR just takes things to a whole nother level. If it's a scary game, it's gonna really scare you. You know, if it's if it's an action movie and you're watching it, you know, you're gonna feel, those car crashes, those things. Yeah, if a bird comes flying at you, you're gonna try to duck. I mean, it's, if it's a porno, you're gonna need to go get yourself a rag. And so, with all the excessive things that VR pulls you into, I mean, you got to have a strong stomach to play a scary game, because I've tried to play a multitude of different, let's call them light-hearted scary games, and those are more doable. They have less jump scares, I guess you could say. A perfect example of that would be Rush of Blood VR. But as light-hearted as the Rush of Blood VR is, if you don't have any previous VR experience, I mean, you're going to be going to the bathroom to clean yourself. And this is all going to be, amplified very soon when the new VR comes out, because everything we know now, well, the new VR is also getting, the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback. And Sony already announced they're going a step further, and you're actually going to get haptic feedback in your headset too. Yeah. So, so imagine the scary that I'm talking about right now that I'm scared of, and imagine this here in about a year or so in the new realm of VR. I mean, no, I have a feeling that I know I'm gonna get the new VR for sure, but it's highly unlikely that I'm gonna play, like say Resident Evil on it because, unless I grow an extra pair of balls, it ain't happening. Because I mean, I've tried what was the name, woman, of that other game, the one that I had recently bought. Remember the one where I was the girl and I was being chased by the other girl, and I had to go past that locker, and had to get in the locker and hide from her. That's the one, yes. Now that game, the atmosphere in that game in VR, it's much like Resident Evil. I don't feel like they scare you every 10 seconds, but they keep you on edge the whole time. So when they do scare you, you're fucking scared. Yes. Now, and speaking of that, so Resident Evil 4, which right now I'm kind of mad at Capcom, but Resident Evil 4 has been has been remastered into VR for Oculus Quest. Now, the question is, are they going to be a bunch of pansies or are they going to give it to us on PlayStation as well? Because Resident Evil is actually the home of PlayStation. So I don't understand why you took a game from PlayStation and now you're putting it over there, on Quest. I mean, I'm okay with you putting it on Quest as long as we get it over here. Because I would definitely like to play the Resident Evil 4 because I feel like the Resident Evil 4 is going to be, it's still going to be scary, but I think it's going to be a different kind of scary. It's not going to be like 7 with that psycho silly, man eating, shovel wielding crazy guy. Yeah, yeah. So, at worst case scenario, I'd at least like to have the Resident Evil 4 VR for PlayStation to collect it at worst case scenario. You know another game that would be awesome? I would like to play The Last of Us in VR. That would be awesome. The other game I was thinking about would be Dead by Daylight would be interesting in VR. I've talked about it a few times to a couple people, and it's like that's an interesting concept. Yeah. Well, all they'd have to do is recode it, and they'd have to make some adjustments, for survivors. But the killer is already in first person, so the killer is 100% easy to recode. Uh, And I know this because I write code. But the survivors, well, you realize they wouldn't have to really recode that much because the survivors, there's VR and then there's what we call VR environment. And so the killer is an easy slate over to VR in first person, and the survivors could still play in third person, but they'd be in a VR environment. So, when you see the building, or you're in the building, you'd actually be in the building. When you're running through the grass or ducking behind, something, you'd actually be ducking behind it. But it's 100% doable, and I feel like I've mentioned it to behavior a couple of times already. Unfortunately, I know some of the pricks, and I've told them that, with all the other issues, the one thing that could put more money in your pocket and definitely give your game a new face is VR. Everything on the planet is slating towards VR. And this is why other companies are losing out. I love Nintendo. I have since the 80s, but Nintendo refuses to do VR. That's why they're falling behind. Same thing goes for Trashbox. Trashbox has no VR, no interest in VR. This easily putting Sony in the driver's seat because there's no competition from a console. The closest thing to competition right now that Sony has is an underpowered Oculus Quest. That's it. So, if Behavior got on the bandwagon and brought Dead by Daylight to the VR universe, it would be great for them, and I think it would be great for the community. And not everybody has VR, not everybody wants VR, but this is why you make the game like some of the other games that are out there right now. I can actually play a game with you two right now, and I could play the game in VR because I have VR, and you guys can play on your normal screen, and we can still play together. So if they would do that with Dead by Daylight, we could still play together, and we could choose whether or not we want VR or non-VR. And this is something that, I have a lot of respect for Sony because they know the market, they see the market, they know the changes in technology, and they Sony is in the driver's seat of the gaming industry, and they've already told the developers that make games for them that, for the PS5 and the VR number 2, you're either going to make your games both VR and non-VR, or we're going to buy other companies that will. Oh yeah, there's a big old thing about it somewhere on YouTube that you can see, but they've made it very clear that uh, Sony's made it very clear that not only do they want to bring actual AAA games to the VR world, but they want every game, and I quote Sony, like God of War, it should have both modes, VR and non-VR, and anything less is unacceptable. And when I seen Sony say that, I'm like, yeah, boy, God of God of War in VR. I mean, dude, come on. Yes, yes, it is. But if you, but if you ever get VR, like I said, it's a great game. It's not anywhere near the level of scary that Resident Evil 7 is. There's a couple of light-hearted jump scares, nothing that, is going to make you poop yourself. And it's an overall very enjoyable, great game. It's nothing too serious. It's basically you in a like a little mine cart that rides on like a train track, and you have these two old school, like, 1800s, like, handguns, one in each hand, and you shoot at these different targets out in the distance, and every once in a while there'll be some people that'll come running at your cart, and you got to start trying to shoot them and keep them away from your cart. And there are some spiders that will crawl onto the cart, onto your face at a later time if you don't shoot them. If you look down at the cart in front of you, you'll see them crawling up the train track onto the cart, onto your face. But you got, like I said, now keep in mind, I 100% don't like spiders. Um, if you put one on me, I will punch you in the face. And these spiders, because this is a more of a light-hearted game, that the spiders they don't really bother you when they crawl up on your face and cover the visor. They don't really scare you. There's only one spider in the whole game that's kind of scary, and it ain't them. There's this old 1950s, 1960s movie where it had this tarantula spider that was like big as a town. Well, there's one of those in that game. and at and at first it's not scary. It's like way up on this tower, and it looks like to be the size of a dime. But as you're going down this track and you're getting closer to the tower, this spider starts climbing down the tower to get to the track. And by the time you get to it, this thing is pretty fucking big. Hmm. Well, uh, yeah, they're not terrible. Just don't put them on me. When I when I was a kid, I blacked both of my friend's eyes for putting his red rose hair tarantula on my naked shoulder. I was sitting on a couch back in the 1986, 1987. We were kids, and well, he had a big ass tarantula, bigger than my hand is right now. And we're kids. I had no shirt on. I was in shorts and tennis shoes, and it was the middle of summer, hot as fuck. And we went to his house to get something to drink. We were out skateboarding, and we were sitting there playing Nintendo, and I was on the couch, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna use the bathroom." I'm like, "All right." And so he goes to take off and go use the bathroom, and I'm sitting there playing Akari Warriors on regular Nintendo, and I feel something on my shoulder, and I'm trying to play this game. I'm fighting. And I take my left arm and I reach up with my hand and I start flicking whatever's at my shoulder, and I feel these like prickly things, and I fucking and I turn my face to the right, and the spider has its legs on my fucking cheek, and I knocked this spider onto the fucking couch, and I mean this thing is huge. It's at least 7, 8 inches in diameter, and oh yeah, I blacked both of his eyes and got banned from his house for like 6 months. And I wasn't even and I wasn't even a violent kid. Oh yeah, I was so fucking mad about that. I mean, here we are 30 something years later and I still don't forgive him. I mean, if you're afraid of something, I'm not gonna do it to you because I'm not that person. If you tell me, "Hey, I'm scared of Michael," I'm not gonna show up, it's Michael Myers to your house on Halloween. I'm just not. I'm gonna mail you a big furry one. Hmm. Yeah, I had shit's return to sender. Anything from Texas, return to sender. Ugh. Yeah, no, that's the only tarantula that's ever touched me, and that's not gonna happen again. I I I can't do spiders. man. Mm, you you know what? I'm the same fucking way. Like, 'cause I've got long hair, and the fan will blow, hair around on my shoulders, and I'm sitting here playing the game, and I'm always flicking my shoulders, and then the cat rubbing against me. But yeah, I don't like bugs in general. I wouldn't say that I'm scared of all bugs or anything, but I don't want them on me. They really do bother me. I mean, hmm like I've had spiders, big spiders, and I won't fuck with them. And and she'll let them crawl on her hand, and she'll put them outside. And I mean to tell you, one day I have not been this mad in 30 years. She left my car door window cracked, and this isn't her fault, but I get in the car, and there's this big web, and right in front, I mean, I'm talking 3 to 4 inches away from my nose, the biggest brown furriest spider I've ever seen is in the middle of this web right in front of my face. And I looked at her, and I was like, "You better get this motherfucker right now." And and I literally like creeped my way out of the passenger side of the car, and I told her, "You get this motherfucker out of here right now." And she left the window down, and somehow, I mean, and spiders here getting in the car, it's not very common at all, because we got outside, yard spiders, whatever, but nothing ever to really be that afraid of or nothing. But this motherfucker was huge. I mean, its body was big around as a $half, and it spread out its legs, and it reached its 2 front legs out, and I mean, they were like at least 3, 4 inches long, and it was just like it was trying to touch my face, and I'm like, fuck. There's one spider I seen on YouTube, on a YouTube video, and it looks like a cool spider, and they can still bite you, but it's like she said 100 times already that she'd like to get a tarantula, and I told her the day you do is the day I'm gone. It's not. I could never sleep in the house again. You know what? And I don't know about snakes. I wound up with a pretty good sized corn snake one time, and I kept it for about a week, and I didn't know that much about snakes, but I had a college friend who was leaving, and this guy was just going to leave it in his dorm because he couldn't take it home with him. I'm like, well, why the fuck did you buy it? So I wind up with the 10-gallon fish tank and the corn snake. And this corn snake, when he stretched out, he was about, I'd say, 4 feet long. And he wasn't very big around. He was probably, I don't know, I'd say about 3 inches around. And he could bite you. They won't kill you. They won't really make you sick, but it will fucking hurt. At least that's what he told me. And so, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll take it because, it's a life form. You can't just leave it there. So I took it. And then, I don't know, I'm like, okay, well, how afraid of snakes am I really? So I'm holding this snake, and at first I always held it up by its head, so it couldn't, like, lunge at me or something. And then I got a little bit more comfortable with it. And I walk around town up to my job and, back home a couple blocks here and there, and I'd have it with me, and stuff. But I was just so afraid that it was gonna bite me, and I remember either selling it or giving it to somebody or trading it, but I got rid of it because I I guess I was a little bit comfortable with it, but not what you would you could never be fully comfortable with it. Yeah, and I had seen a lot of snakes in the wild. Like, I used to, when I was a kid, they used to take me to West Virginia every summer for the summer, and I would get chased down the dirt roads in the mountains by a black copperhead snake. And copperheads are actually poisonous. They can and will kill you if you don't get to the hospital. And yeah, we 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 had three garden snakes at our old house, and I tried for years and years and years to catch them, but they were too fast. But before that one snake I got from the college guy, yeah, I had never touched a snake. I had never held a snake. So I wasn't really quite sure, like, how I felt about it. But I'm not a fan of, like what they eat, how they get fed. And and I think that that was another reason why I got rid of it because my sister is a snake person. And years ago she would tell me, yeah, I keep dead mice, in the freezer, and I'm like, wow, no, I could never do that. I mean, I know it's nature, but at the same time, first off, I couldn't keep dead mice in my freezer, and I could never feed another living creature to another living creature. I can't do it. Just like I think spiders eat crickets, I could never feed a tarantula crickets. I just couldn't do it. And even if I had a tarantula and could tolerate it, the minute it bit me, I would have smashed it. I can't do it. I've been in pet stores and just walking past the cages with the spiders in it. Yeah, that's a hell no for me. And I love animals and stuff, but yeah, I can't do spiders. I never could understand who thought up the ideal that spiders are a pet. They're not a fucking pet. I mean, it's not like you're gonna be like, here, my little 5-year-old daughter, here, play with this tarantula. Are you stupid? Nobody does that. Oh yeah, scorpions look cool, but from a distance, thank you. Mm-mm. If it's a dog, a cat, rabbit, guinea pig, hamster, I can do all that, no problem. Yeah, iguanas, bearded dragons. I can live with that. I had a gecko once, a special spotted gecko, and it was uh it was a cool little thing to have. I mean, it was cute and all, but I don't remember I got rid of it though. Yeah, 'cause so I think she had a bearded dragon 9, 10 years ago when we got together, and it got old or something and died a couple years back. But yeah, she had the whole setup for it and everything, but I don't. That's one thing I never had myself was a bearded dragon, so I don't even know how to take care of them. Hmm. You know what used to be cool? When everybody was kids and we used to get tadpoles and they would turn into frogs. Oh, yeah, yeah, those were cool too, but don't get fucking pinched by them. They will fuck you up. There was this one time in West Virginia when we were digging around looking for them, and we came across a snapping turtle. And, well, it had buried itself in the ground and couldn't get out. Well, me and my cousins started digging it out, and we're like, how fucking big is this thing? And we keep digging and digging and digging. Well, about 2 hours later, we finally got this thing out. This thing was, oh my God, it must have been 3 to 4 feet around its shell, and it literally snapped a broom handle in half because it was so heavy that me and him couldn't even like pick it up to get it up out of there. And we tried to get it to, latch on with its mouth, and we were going to try to like use the broom handle to pull it up out, and it literally just crunch snap. I mean, it snapped that wooden broom handle in half like a twig. My cousin, my cousin looked at me, and I looked at him, and I'm like, nope. But this thing, yeah, it was the biggest fucking like turtle I'd ever seen. And I remember I went and got my Uncle Paul and said, what the fuck is this thing, you know? He's like, oh, it's a turtle. I'm like, I've never seen a turtle that big. I was like, the biggest turtle I ever seen is one that fits in a fish tank. And he's like, no, he's like, that's a wild snapping turtle. And he's like, don't put your hands anywhere near its mouth because it'll take your fingers right off. And I'm like, no shit, have you seen a broom lately? Nope. My uncle used to try to get me to go, when I was a kid, he used to try to get me to go fishing. He used to try to get me to go hunting. And I'm just like, yeah, I couldn't do it. I went fishing with him and yeah, I couldn't deal with that. I was like, no, why would you reel up a fish, rip half of its mouth apart with a hook and then throw the fish back in the water. Why would you do that? And then, yeah, yeah, and then he, was like going to, like deer hunt and get up in the deer stands, and I wasn't maybe the smartest kid, but I knew what, shooting a deer with an arrow would do, and I was like, no, 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 I can't do it. Nope. Yeah, it's like I can go to Burger King, McDonald's, and get a burger as long as I don't have to kill the cow. Yeah, that's the way she is. Like, I'm the only one, here that eats like hamburger and stuff like that. And oh no, she doesn't even like to like make the hamburger patties with her hands. Like she'll hold her hands out and she'll be like, "Come here, come here," and I have to go in there and she's like, "Put some dishwashing liquid on my hands." Oh, she fucking hates it. And I've told her, I was like, well, I can just make it myself, but I don't eat nearly as much, stuff like I used to. Like I used to go out and, eat all the time. And I haven't been doing that for quite some years. Like if I'm lucky, if I'm really, really lucky, I'll get McDonald's about once every 3 or 4 months if I'm lucky, because she doesn't want to get it. She's got this she's got this thing about, this animal and that animal, and it's like, I like scrambled eggs or I like egg sandwiches. Well, she's got a thing about eggs too. Well, you're just eating baby chickens, and I'm like, do you have to ruin every fucking thing I eat? I told her one day, I'm like, I don't know, I lost my shit, and I just told her, I was like, look, I was like, I fucking understand that you don't like it. I was like, but 90% of the world, eat this food, and I was like, what do you want me to fucking do here? Mm-hmm. Well, now see, chicken isn't meat. Chicken is poultry. It's not meat, but it is good for you. Yes, I know because I used to get corrected all the time. My school was, well, my school. I don't know if it was like any school that you guys went to, but they didn't give a flying fuck if you were male or female. One of the required courses to better the future of mankind was like their little saying that you have to learn everything. So, with all fairness, my school, if you're a girl, we don't give a fuck. You're going to work on this car in auto shop. If you're a guy, and if you're a guy, guess what? We don't give a fuck if you don't like an apron. You put that apron on, you put those gloves on, and you get your ass over to this stove and this counter. If not, you get an F, and guess what? You get a whole nother extra year of school. So we had to learn in school how to cook. It wasn't optional. If you're on the football team and you're a jock, guess what? We don't care. Before football practice, you got class. So we had to learn how to cook, and yeah, and girls had to learn how to work on cars. Yeah. You know what? When a lot of people in this day and age tell me that they're gonna cook, I'm gonna be like, yeah. So how long does your food take? 3 minutes and the microwave goes ding? That's not cooking. I mean, I've got a 24-year-old daughter, and she literally uses a microwave for everything. Hmm. You know, I've said it before, I'd say it 1,000 times. I don't know what this generation would do without a cell phone and the internet. I really feel like that we would go back to the dark ages if you took the internet and a cell phone away from people. You wouldn't last. Hmm. Luxuries, yep. Hmm. It's like I told Tiger. I didn't have luxuries when I was a kid. I had an abusive dad and a broke ass family, and everything I ever had, I either trade for it, or as much as I hate to admit it, when I was a stupid kid, I stole it, or or I got it out of the trash. Like I told Tiger before, my first TV in the 1980s, the first TV I owned, it came out of a trash can and I fixed it, and that's how I got my first TV and my first stereo and my first bike. All of it came out of the trash. Hmm. And and you know, even though we're full grown ass adults now, and we can have and get just about anything we want because we are adults. Just because we can doesn't mean we have the money to. The chair I'm sitting in right now, it's the best chair I've ever had. Free. Um, the couch that I have in here is a really nice couch. And the stool that goes with it. The guy next door is selling his house. He threw it out in the street, and I got it for free. I know, 'cause the old lady bitches at me. You need to stop trash digging. I don't like that. And I'm like, well, you got money? You gonna buy it for me? Didn't think so. I'm not. You know what? I'm not ashamed because I know where I came from. I don't. Yeah, I don't forget the days and the times that I had. I mean, hmm I mean, I'm. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like a spoiled, brat king. I mean, I never thought, in 1986 or 1987 or even 1995 for that matter, that I'd be sitting here all these years later, owning my own house, having a 4K TV, having a computer, having two dogs. I never thought I'd have any of this. I mean, it's like all these people. Now, here's a perfect example of how my life hasn't changed from when I was a kid till now. Everybody thinks that, oh, you got a PS5, and you, you got all this money. No, I really don't. I had to sell the majority of my game collection, game systems, and all kinds of other stuff just to get this PS5 because, unlike other people, I paid $900 to get my PlayStation. And I sacrificed a lot to get it. it it wasn't, oh, I've got $1,000 in the bank. Let's just buy a PlayStation. Nope. We got all these kids today, and I hear them whine and cry, oh, I've got it so hard, and I can't go get this game, and my bike is broke, oh, my laptop won't work. Well, boo fucking who, buddy? 'Cause I never had any of that shit when I was a kid. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, you're right, to hear, kids complain today. I mean, I remember when I was between 18 and 24, and I lived in a two-bedroom trailer, and I had no electric, middle of winter, and ice on the walls inside the trailer. Bec yeah, because my job, I had a full-time job, but I had to pay for the trailer, I had to pay for the car, I had to pay for the gas to get there, I had to pay for food. I mean, these kids today, oh my God, I got it so hard. How do you have it hard? Your mother and father literally pay everything for you. When, when, come back in 30 years, and then we'll discuss what hard is. hmm And I don't care what anybody says about milk crates. I love milk crates. I got four milk crates right now. Two of them hold up one speaker, two of them hold up the other. I've always, Mm, you know, uh, mm, oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Look, look at that black guy, the one I can't stand, Soldier Boy. Did you hear about the drama with him the other day? Well, Soldier Boy is this guy who, I don't know, kind of was like a semi. Yeah, yeah, he was. Right. Well, that's how he got famous. Well, he got into game consoles, but not like you think. He got into what's called like emulation. So he like would use his money to branch out to a company, have a company to design a name for a console that would be owned by Soldier Boy, and then he would sell the console, and the consoles would turn out to be literally knockoff copies of consoles that were already out there. So a couple of days ago, there was big headline news all over the internet about him because he swore up and down that he bought Atari, that he owns Atari now. So Atari, one of the main people at Atari went out there and they put a post right on Twitter or something and said, well, you know, all of us millionaires, want to claim that we own Atari, but he said actually the rights belong to such and such and busted him out. So then Soldier Boy was on there with all kinds of responses being ultra salty because he got called out on his bullshit. well, it's well, it's people like him specifically that are the reason why we have so many people in so many countries, starving to death and and homeless. I mean, if you've got all these millions of dollars, then why can't you give some of it to the needy? Because how much money do you really need? You know? Well, and there's two types of people like that too. There's the homeless people who literally do nothing because they didn't try and and then there's the other ones who actually try. I mean, for example, look at all the homeless military people we have every year. Why the fuck are our military people who serve the country, why are they homeless eating out of trash cans? That's unacceptable. There was somebody, and I can't remember who it is, you might have heard about this, but they aren't real big fans of the homeless people either. So what they were doing is they came up with some type of fundraising thing. And you know the billboard signs that you see when you're driving your car down the road? Well, they were building houses, little miniature, like 1 room, 2 room apartments up there attached to the billboards, like behind the billboard, so that homeless people could live in them. They were like 1 and 2 room little like miniature apartments with full on electric and water and everything. And there's a few of them out there. Some of them are in California. But yeah, there's actually people living behind those billboard signs in a little 1, 2 room small apartment. But it's another thing when we have like all these abandoned buildings and you know, I don't understand why if we got all these abandoned buildings times the number of homeless people we have, why are we not taking tax money when we have billions of citizens paying taxes? Why aren't we using some of the tax money as as the governor or president to order this tax money to remodel these houses into something livable for homeless people? Like, if you don't want to give one homeless person a house, why couldn't you make this house into a facility like a boarding place for multiple homeless people to live? Why couldn't you house, like, say, 10 people a house, 24 people a house, or something like that? I don't understand why, if we're paying billions and trillions of dollars in taxes per city, per town, why we don't have the money to remodel these places and give these people a place to live. I don't understand. Right, and every city has its own tax money. Every major city has its own, tax money. And if you did this on a per town or per city basis, let me assure you that even without seeing the actual numbers in front of me, they're taking in far more tax money than they're putting out. Can you imagine the multi-million of billions of dollars a year that these people are pocketing? There's no way that this money's making it back into the community where it came from in the first place. Hmm. Well, oh, yeah, well, imagine this. Imagine a state or more than one state that makes you pay taxes on things that are just unforgivable. For example, um, here in the US, we have the state of Missouri. And in the state of Missouri, there is a city called St. Louis. In St. Louis, there is a tax law, something I've never heard of. You have to pay taxes on your vehicle, just like your house. So not only do you have to pay taxes on your motor vehicle, but you have to pay taxes on any motorized vehicle, such as a boat, an RV, a trailer, a camper. So now you're not only paying taxes on your house, but let's say that you have a house with a small, like, speedboat, and you got a trailer for that boat, and so forth and so on. You've got to pay an individual tax on each of all those items, along with your house, too. Property tax, yep. No fucking way would I ever move to that state. For the, well, yes and no. For the majority, I'd say at least 45 out of 50 states are almost identical. There's only a few states that do some really weird shit. I think 6 states in total do weird shit. St. Louis being one of them in Missouri. I forget what all the states are. I think it's like, I think Oregon's one of them. I think Washington, D.C. is one of them. Well, well, it's like PlayStation Network. For the longest time, years and years, I never paid any taxes on buying a game from the PSN store, and now I do. Now get this. Did you know that here in the US there are 5 or 6 states that do not pay taxes? One of which, by the way, is California. They do not pay taxes on PlayStation Network. Yeah, I mean, we're already, in my opinion, we already pay too much for a digital game. I think digital games should be 50% of what a physical copy is because you're paying for air. And so not only do we have to pay full price for the game,